It was a perilous time in the United States of America. Our discourse had become a sewer, so vile, so venal, so filled with hate and division that certain subjects dare not be raised at family gatherings. There was a crime epidemic no one knew how to contain. Civil unrest no one knew how to control. We were a nation racked by a war no one knew how to stop. I was a 13-year-old farm boy. My father was a hard-driving, hard-working farmer who expected me to do chores before and after school. He was a voracious reader who expected me to be well-read. He was an ex-military intelligence officer who just loved to interrogate me about current events at the family dinner table. And I won't say that Dad was impatient, but man, was he easily agitated when I did not know the answer. For these reasons, in 1968, I was probably the best read 13-year-old farm boy in all of Blackford County, Indiana. Because I was well read, I knew the names and complete biography of everybody running for president in 1968, including a certain New York senator named Robert Francis Kennedy. On April 4th, I was getting ready to do my chores and glanced at the papers on the kitchen table and noticed that Kennedy was in Indiana campaigning that day. So I decided to finish my chores early so I could see him on the evening news. Except when I turned on the news, he wasn't there. Instead, I saw cities all over America on fire, burning and looting and rioting. And then came President Johnson, pleading for calm and demanding law and order. And finally, halfway through the newscast, there was Robert Kennedy, standing on the back of a flatbed truck in what was then called the ghetto of Indianapolis, surrounded by a sea of horrified faces as he told them that Dr. Martin Luther King had been killed. Kennedy spoke of the pain of losing his brother to an assassin's bullet. He asked that the people of Indianapolis not respond to violence with violence, but to instead peacefully honor, remember, and celebrate the life of Dr. King. He spoke for less than 5 minutes, ending his speech by reciting the words of Aeschylus. Even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God. When he finished, thousands of people quietly joined hands and went to their homes and churches to pray. There was no violence in Indianapolis that night, the only major city in America where there was none. To this day, it remains a city largely free of racial conflict. Today, Indianapolis is also a thriving city. It has a football stadium, a basketball arena, a baseball stadium, a world-class natatorium, restaurants open around the clock, and a small monument commemorating the night that Senator Kennedy sought to heal suffering by summoning the better angels of the human spirit. I have a very personal connection to that moment. It was the first time in my life that I had ever seen the raw power of words. Words that forever changed the destiny of an entire city. Words that forever altered my personal and professional journey. It didn't take me long to realize I would never be content to live the life of a farmer. That I had to be near that great stage of discourse and democracy. Words are the most powerful drug humankind has ever known. The internet is the most powerful weapon ever invented. You do not need to run for president. You do not need to be a U.S. Senator to make a difference. It has never been easier to right a wrong, to advance a cause, to correct an injustice, to lead a movement. It has never been easier to be a shining example of leadership in a world starving for leadership. There has never been a greater need for that than there is right now. There has never been a better time to do it. There is no group better suited to do it than those of us in this room.